Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Guess Who. You now tapped into the motherfucking greatest. We got a special guest in the fucking building.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, family.
What's up, man? I go by TheyCallHimAP. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know. AP, what's happening?
What's happening?
Yes,
Hey, before we get started, got to give a major shout out to our partners, MULTIMEDIA. Make sure you subscribe for the full episodes at BrightEverything. Shout out VICUALS in the building. Make sure you subscribe to that. Hit that notification bell. Get subscribed whenever we drop some new content.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're going to jump into it. So let's start from the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
Where you from and how'd you grow up?
I'm from Illinois. You know what I'm saying? I got out here probably when I was like 10 years old. You feel me? I grew up in Montbello. You know what I'm saying?
Bellside Zone.
Bellsider. You feel me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's kind of easy to tell. You know what it was like. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in our time, our era.
How would you describe it? How would you describe that time for you as a youth here? In the transition, what brought your family here first? Let's get there.
My mom's moved us here because, you know what I'm saying, in my hometown in Peoria, you know what I'm saying, everybody GD. You know what I'm saying? Which when you look at how it played out, you know what I'm saying, that shit would have been cool if everybody from the whole town was from the same hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It'd have been a lot different. But, you know, my mom wanted to get us away from that shit. You know what I'm saying? And my pops and the rest of my family, all them niggas, GDs, Vice Lords, all that.
So you grew up in two different places.
Yeah.
Came to Montbello.
Yeah.
Would you say that Montbello is where you got your stain from?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You know what I'm saying?
What was that like growing up for you in Montbello? What would you say that time?
Shit, I mean, to me, you know, compared to what it could have been like, you know, I went home and visited my family and shit like that, and I always knew what it was like in Illinois. To me, shit, it was like vacation still. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of shit going on, not to make it sound like it wasn't, you know, Colorado ain't real like that, but, you know, you compare Denver to Chicago, you know, it's a lot different, you know, as far as the culture goes.
Fuck it. How would you describe our culture?
Our culture is a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? So we get a lot of real niggas from a lot of regions, but we get a lot of, you know, the other ones too. You feel me?
I feel you.
A whole lot of the other ones too.
So what does "where you from" mean to you?
Where you from?
Yeah, where you from?
Shit. What you loyal to? You know, where your loyalty lie? Like who made you? You feel me? You know, I think the culture, as far as, you know, where that question come from, has died down a lot. You know, it ain't not necessarily died down, but it's been watered down. Right. I say, you know what I'm saying, and you know, ain't a lot to be. I wouldn't say, like, in a sense, ain't that much to be proud of. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to the shit. So, you know.
Right. So, at what point would you say you fell in love with music? Not rapping, but music.
I fell in love with music when I was a little kid. Like, I was like 8, 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? I was rapping songs word for word.
Can you remember, like, was it a song or a moment that you could be like, maybe from this moment is when I really knew?
From when All Eyes on Me dropped. That was when that was the first album I was really, I know even to this day, you know, I know the whole album from start to finish by heart, what song come on next, the skits, you know what I'm saying, all that type of shit. I knew then I was really in love with it, you know.
At that point?
Yeah. I wasn't really certain that I wanted to rap like that yet, but I just knew that music was different for me than it was for a lot of other people.
Right. You feel me? Basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball, that you have
that's really where I got my name from.
Yeah, you had a very promising career with the basketball. Let's talk about that.
It looked good, but I didn't love it. So that's what affected, you know, the overall outcome of how that played out. You know what I'm saying?
What about it? You just knew you was good at it.
I was good at it. I did it because my older brother did it. You know, when you a little brother, you trying to follow behind your brother's footsteps.
Right.
And you know, I saw how happy it made my mama, you know, to go to his games and shit. And, you know what I'm saying, we was at the games since before we moved here. You know, my brother used to play. He used to play for a school called Pleasant Valley in Illinois. And you know, my family was always real supportive when it came to the sports and shit like that. So since I could remember, it was always, you know, game time. We was at the games and shit like that. So I wanted to do that. you know, just kind of fit in, you know, also made my mama proud. You feel
right.
me? But it wasn't really until I got to college basketball really like that I really
knew that
realized that like I'm like, do I want to go to the league after this? Is that something I really want to do? And it wasn't.
Would you say that? So then, a good question would be: so at what point did you start rapping, or did you find out like the love of rapping? Because my early memories, I want to say my early memories of AP, before we introduced each other, was used to rap at the football games at South High School. You get what I'm saying, and have a crowd around you watching you instead of the football games.
That's what the shit. Like that was my favorite thing. It was like a lot of cypher rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like I started out battle rapping and shit, and rapping in circles with the homies and shit like that. Like before I recorded music, I was probably rapping for like 2 years before I recorded something.
Just rapping.
Yeah, just spitting shit.
What you think about the battle rap now? Could you be able to? Could you compete?
Nope.
With them niggas?
Nope. Because I mean I respect the grind and what it takes to elevate in what you do, and I feel like I could do it, but I ain't put in enough time to sit here and say, you know, I'm better than these artists or that artist. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, you really that shit really you really gotta have that in you. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of battles, you know, every now and then where you could just kind of tell, like, certain motherfuckers ain't built for that shit.
Right.
You know, your presentation ain't on point, your deliveries, you know what I'm saying? Your bars ain't getting like that. It's just some shit you really got to practice and practice and practice and really become good at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that shit is about being a performer.
Facts.
Yeah.
So let's get back to your rapping. Where was the first studio you recorded in?
My first studio I recorded at was with Miracle. You know what I'm saying? Actually, yeah. It was Miracle. He had a little setup in his grandma's basement,
right,
out in Park Hill. Okay. He had a setup out in Park Hill. You know what I'm saying? That's how I met Trev too. But I used to go over there and just cook up with bro. You know what I'm saying? And
who inspired that, or did you just was like, hey, I want to go to the studio, let me link up with this dude?
I can't. To be honest, I don't even really remember exactly where I met Miracle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we got to see who started this genius.
It was Miracle. You know what I'm saying? It was him. You know, he invited me there, and but I can't remember why or where the fuck we was at. Like,
you just know.
Yeah, I just remember it was definitely Miracle. He was the first one. Yeah. And
so in high school, that was the time you started recording in high school.
I started recording like a month before graduation.
Your senior year.
Yeah, my senior year. I was just battling and lunchtime raps, you know, beating on the tables and shit like that before that. But yep, my senior year. It wasn't to the end of the year after my partner got smoked. I was like, man, I need something to do. You know what I'm saying? So start doing that.
Can we touch on that and how that played a part in your music? Because you do make some songs that reference him a lot.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what happened or or that time period for you?
Yeah, I mean, shit, he was, you know, a lot of people know D Ward, he was a big dancer, you know what I'm saying? Like a popular dancer in the city. As a matter of fact, the day he passed away, he had just performed at the Nuggets game at like halftime at that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but he used to always be in my ear with that shit. Like, nigga, you're hard. Like, you could really rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you should really, you know, get on that shit. And I wouldn't say, you know, I think it's kind of cliche when people be like, you know, something happened and then, you know, it led to this. But at the end of the day, you know, I needed something to take my mind off that at the time. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, that was my everyday nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was like therapy at that time.
Do you still consider it therapy right now, like an outlet for you?
Hell yeah, more than ever. Shit, more than it was then. You know what I'm saying? Because I could say, I can say it now, but back then, you know what I'm saying, I think my mind was too clouded to make the correlation. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, you never really, you know, subconsciously you distract yourself from trauma and from bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You gravitate towards what make you happy, but you don't really realize like that shit is therapy. You know what I'm saying? For real. So, you know, I think that's what it was.
And you put that passion into do you feel like them moments? Because you know they always say with females when they like singers, like they give the best music when they're heartbroken.
When they're heartbroken.
Do you feel like?
I feel like that. It's crazy. It sucks because I feel like a lot of my favorite artists that I watch blow up from Drake to Trey Songz to all types of different genres. You know what I'm saying? You remember them first projects was Heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? It was Heartbreak albums.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, So yeah, I think it fuels you. It sucks that that's what it takes sometimes for motherfuckers, but it definitely helps you in a lot of ways. Because I think that overcoming things contribute to building the person you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the character.
Yeah. So a lot of times, the main thing people can relate to is that heartbreak, or just some or that trauma or bullshit they going through at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you go from that situation to graduation to where that sparked the fire to at least want to pursue this a lot more.
Yeah.
Then we get to the G5 era and the Buggz Boys era. How did that all come about? Like how did y'all guys link up?
So the Buggz Boys, that was again, that was me and Miracles doing. You know what I'm saying? And because like I said, recording at his spot, a lot of niggas was going over there recording with him.
Right.
And Miracle, thank God for bro. Shout out to bro. He was always a neutral cat. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of niggas, you fuck around running into some niggas from the other side of town over there. You know what I'm saying? And, thankfully it was all love. You know what I'm saying? Also, D Ward, after he passed away, he was a lot of that glue too. A lot of niggas knew him. You know what I'm saying? And that contributed to it a lot. Like right after he passed away, we did a talent show at Cleo Parker.
Yeah.
You remember them Cleo Parker days?
The Apollos shits.
We did a talent show up there, and that was when I met L Keys and G6 and all them niggas. And it was like we damn near instantly clicked. You know what I'm saying? We started linking up, first recording music and shit like that.
Who came up with the Buggz Boys name?
Miracle.
Yep.
Miracle came up with that.
How does it feel to be a part of a movement at that time that was really growing fast? Like,
yeah, it was so much, like, a lot of people don't really understand. It was so much more than the music, because we in Colorado, we didn't really have no culture like that,
right?
Like a hip hop culture, where at the time when we first started out, shout out to the niggas who came before us, the Ike, Young Doe and artists like that, but they didn't want to get them niggas no venues.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? They did it was real, I wouldn't say conservative, but like they wasn't trying to fuck with nothing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we was the first ones to really go and sit down with these people and really kind of, start that, like, start getting the venues and start proving that we had something to offer. And
Fly Sundays.
Fly Sundays was a staple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, that was probably one of the biggest things. And I ain't seen nothing that real to this day. You know what I'm saying? And
that was y'all movement. You know what I'm saying? That
Yep.
was a beautiful movement that y'all had.
Yep.
How did the separation happen, or was there a separation, or how? Or
so the thing is, something that people don't really understand is that we was never a group. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was almost like it was more a display of the connection we all had. You know what I'm saying? Rather than it be like, all right, we a group. So we never really like split up.
right?
It was really just 20 solo artists. You feel me? And everybody, serious about their shit. So at some point, we all gonna go our separate ways and do what we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just after a while, certain artists started to do a little bit more or take it a little more serious. You know what I'm saying? And that shit showed. Some niggas even ended up salty. Feeling like they got left behind or wasn't getting as much love or whatever the case was. And it was all a reflection of the work niggas was putting in.
So would you say that it was, because I feel a lot of people nowadays do complain about where they're at, but won't put the work in.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of people nowadays have that energy around them or vibrations.
That problem.
Yeah, that problem.
I wouldn't say the Box Boys, but I would say a lot of artists in the city. Hell
Right.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I've had plenty of conversations and sometimes differences, altercations, not even really altercations, but just had differences with artists that felt like we should be doing more for them niggas or for the culture in Colorado, when it's like it's been every man for theyself since the beginning. We just kind of, you know what I'm saying, we just laid out a blueprint to shit, put the work in and get some results.
To how to get it.
We ain't never had a handout, handed each other shit, you know what I'm saying, nothing like that. So, you know, when people started having them negative opinions and shit like that, feeling like, you know, they owed something, that shit disgusts me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
especially because we had the same motion.
Yeah, because it's always been put the work in and get the results. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never been somebody help me do this. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get to Squizzy.
Yeah.
How did you feel when Trev came to you with the name Squizzy? What was your first thoughts?
So I was I always thought it was dope. You know what I'm saying? I was the last nigga to the meeting. I remember that vividly, being the last one there, so it was kind of already discussed and decided.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
what were the options? That's crazy because you said that at a meeting. What were the options?
Wasn't really no options and nothing like that. I honestly don't. Like I said, I wasn't there for the discussion of it. You know what I'm saying? I think I showed up that day. I was getting my hands tatted. I remember, and showed up like at the end of the day. You know, and they kind of explained to me. You know what I'm saying? Well, Squizzy come from the word exquisite. You know what I'm saying? We doing next level shit. You feel me? So I'm like, all right, Trev, that's hard. Like let's do that. Let's run with it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so that's always been Squizzy and Trev shit.
Right.
Know? Bill and Trev.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas don't know that's Bill.
That's yeah.
What's up? In a minute, hold on.
You good.
Yeah.
So then it's so we go from that. How does it feel to be everybody's favorite rapper in the city?
A
lot of people. I'm gonna say there is some haters. Let me say
there's
always some haters.
But
you're the majority favorite.
To be honest, I love that shit, but in a lot of ways, it's frustrating because coming from Colorado, it's hard for that shit to translate to money or to followers or to heads in the concert a lot of times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, you know, overall, I think it's a good thing. I've always loved the love. You feel me? I just wish that it resulted in more. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like that shit, if we could have, you know, like I said, if it could have affected my career a lot more, you know, in a lot more positive ways, I think that, you know, it would be something that I'll be a lot more proud of. But for me, it's dope. But I feel like at the end of the day, I ain't did shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I still got so much to do.
Right.
That it's hard to be like, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
to boast a little bit. Yeah,
for real. It's hard to be like that when I feel like I got so much ground to cover.
Do you feel what up until this point, what do you feel like is gonna take you to the next level, or what do you consider the next level for you?
Getting out my comfort zone, traveling and shit. It's going. To be honest, I think that's been the missing piece, is just getting out of town and getting motherfuckers familiar with my name and my face and shit like that. It's crazy because like I'm known in a lot of places and shit, but motherfuckers don't really know how to put my face to my name because I ain't moved around as much as I wanted to up until maybe like the last year. You know what I'm saying? But in doing so, I'm seeing a tremendous change. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost not comparable. You know what I'm saying? So I think that what artists, I would say any artist trying to do their shit and take their shit to the next level, get up and leave the crib. Period. Like motherfuckers outside your city gotta fuck with your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel a lot of artists get comfortable with the status they are in within they area?
Yeah.
And that what makes them not leave?
Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's really what make them not leave. I think artists do get comfortable, but like I said, if it translated to to dollars, I think artists would make a lot more moves. You know what I'm saying? And that also comes from the knowledge we've had as artists over the years. Like, I wish I knew what I know now about the industry 10 years ago.
Fuck yeah.
Because I would have been making way more moves than I do now. You know what I'm saying? Or that I am now. Yeah.
So you are a full-time father, and a full-time artist. How do you balance both of those? Because I know a lot of people feel like, and you hear a lot of artists be like, they have to sacrifice a lot of time with their kids. We see you actively participating and handling your duties as a man. How do you balance that?
To be honest, they mama solid. I can't even lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could sit here and say, you know, as a man, I could do this, I could do that. But, like, they got one of the best mamas on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So we communicate well. We work well with each other. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, taking care of the kids and making sure we got a healthy balance of putting work in and spending time, you know,
right,
tagging each other in, doing what we got to do. You know, I don't really hear a lot of artists talk about that shit these days. A lot of niggas rather be tripping with their baby mom or whatever,
right,
have differences and shit like that. But that ain't the case with me. She always been solid. You know what I'm saying? So that plays a big part. But as far as I go, I feel like I don't put as much thought into it as it may seem. I just do what I'm supposed to do. Right. At the end of the day, I put them first. You know what I'm saying? So it just so happened to work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
shit, they got to be at school. They got to, you know, I got to pick them up from school. I got to spend some time with whatever I got to do. I make sure I do that shit.
Fuck
and,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's still, thank God, there's still time in the day to make music and do the other shit that I love to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as far as the balance go, you know, right. it's just a matter of prioritizing your shit and locking in.
Fuck yeah. You are one of the most consistent rappers I know.
Yeah.
Always working and dropping projects. Your latest project, Losses.
Yeah.
You speak about the loss of your sister.
Yep.
How do you feel like that situation affected you in your music? And then the project.
Like that situation, it changed me in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? It was hard to go through that shit, but at the same time, in a lot of ways, I feel like I came back to life after that shit, because it was like you really figure out who you are. You know what I'm saying? When you stop drinking, smoking, popping pills and shit like that, and you really gotta face the person you are. That shit, it's a defining fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that puts you in that time. You know what I'm saying? And after my sister passed, I went through that. You know what I'm saying? I like shit. Probably for the first, I can't even say I was sober for the first 3 months. I'm talking about the day it happened, 3 months straight. You know what I'm saying? And then one day I'm just like, I gotta get my shit right. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my shit together. I gotta come back. I gotta bounce back from this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And shit, I figured out a way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of I think that you know, everybody got their religious beliefs and shit like that. But I think one lost tradition that people do, you know, no matter what culture you from, is a lot of motherfuckers don't talk to their ancestors. They don't talk to, you know, their loved ones that have passed and shit like that. And I can honestly say, man, I talked to my sister a lot, and I asked her to help me. You feel me? And I can honestly say I felt like she did in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I wouldn't even be here. Like, I'll go as far as saying that. Like, I wouldn't even be here if I didn't figure out how to navigate through that shit. For real.
On the project, you what was the meaning behind Losses?
So, you know, obviously, a lot of people know I did the Project Wins. You know what I'm saying? Before that, and that was probably my biggest project, my career, and I think that one day I part of me was like, shit, I think we focusing too much on the wins. You know what I'm saying? We don't really talk about the losses. Like, you know, I think one of the dopest movies is Coach Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Because it shows them motherfuckers overcome adversity, and go from almost zero to hero. You know what I'm saying? Their whole team, but at the end of the movie, they don't win the championship still. You know what I'm saying? And like that shit defines you more than winning do. You know what I'm saying? Like you never really learn, you never really grow unless you lose, unless you fall down. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I basically wanted to talk about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We high on wins. We motivated by wins and shit like that, but we were built by the losses. You know what I'm saying? And shit. So for me, it was almost like it's necessary. Like I gotta talk about this side of it too. You know what I'm saying? And so I was working on wins in the process of creating losses. Like losses just kind of ended up, you know what I'm saying? Ended up what it is. But I was also, so my first album was A Mic and a Heartbeat. I was more so
2014.
I was more so working on Mic and a Heartbeat too. When I created Losses than I was on Wins 2, because Wins 2.
Is that the reason why? But the art kind of looks similar, like the same feeling. You get the same feeling.
Yeah, I wanted it to be somewhat. I wanted them to kind of correlate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that, like, now that you said, I'm glad that, you know, it's received like that, because I never really discussed that with nobody. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, as far as that project go, you know, it ended up being one of my favorite projects. And it wasn't expecting to be. Like when I was finalizing and everything, getting ready to put it out, it was more like, you know, this here y'all go. Here goes something. You know what I'm saying? For now, it's my birthday. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna put this out, but it ended up being one of my favorite ones.
But what are AP studio essentials? What do you have to have in the studio?
I need some weed and some water.
Right.
Shit. To be honest, I'm not big on people coming and kicking it at the studio. I don't even want nobody there with me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, like when my sister passed away, I had started recording myself. You know what I'm saying? Just being in the room alone and shit, not really wanting to deal with nobody. Like I started recording myself, and I learned that that's my favorite way to create music. So,
and that's your signature now, because we can hear the door in some of your music.
Okay,
you
hear that shit. Some of those songs that I talked about, you know, are already out. Sometimes you hear it at the end of the song and stuff like that. Hold on. What's that? Give me a hug. Oh, don't unplug that. This Ava, y'all.
Yeah. How you doing, Ava?
Don't be shy. Hey, you want my glasses? Put your head up.
So studio essentials.
Studio essentials is weed, water. You know what I'm saying? Peace and quiet. Like I said, I cut back on the drinking and all that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get me wrong. I still drink every now and then and shit like that. But you know, I used to take a bottle to the studio every day. You know what I'm saying? And shit, the process changes a lot. You know what I'm saying? I as of today, I went back to you know, writing at home and shit like that. It's healthier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's way healthier.
Fuck yeah.
And shit.
What song would you say out of your catalog? Because mind you have your catalog is major. What song best defines you?
Dedicated, for sure. It's one of my favorite songs that I made. But it also just, you know, the song Dedicated was inspired by Dedication by Nip. And it was like, well, more so a line in that song was like, what did he say? He said, how long till opportunity meets preparation? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt like and known and got input from other people that I was good enough. But it was like, shit, well, how long till that shit, you know, how long till it play out and it really means something or it really turn into something. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
For a while, I didn't realize that, like, I was asking that question, but I wasn't asking myself that question. You feel me? And I feel like Dedicated was that point where it was like, shit, it's on me. Like, it ain't really up to, like, yeah, other people can give me that validation. They can say I'm their favorite rapper and all that type of shit, but unless I'm making the moves to really turn shit up, shit, you know.
Right. So now, yeah, we gonna go to some of that real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Shit, I had to win and bring it in. We not built to lose. Had to take the pain, but stay dedicated to what you do. Shit, I know we all up against the wall, just in different rooms. So I'm trying to win, I gotta bring it in. I'm not built to lose. Say so long, goodbye to the feeling. I'm not enough to go bigger. I need a building with pillars. I need a way to do more. A man in the mirror to be in one in the stores. Wake up in the morning, we dedicated and sore. Loving the way that it mean I'm doing the most. Made every intention on niggas making the Forbes. I know it's a mission, but everything is a source. I need all the money from everything that we on. I know the product can sell itself in a minute, but now I don't do all the gimmicks with all the niggas you love. Telling my story, I'm only hoping you feel it, cause I know niggas who needed a reason they ain't give up. Wanted to show I'm a loser, could be a winner if he was out to go get it. I swear to keep it a buck, cause we ain't no many more dedicated than us, and have a lot of choices. I had to win and bring it in. We not built to lose. Had to take the pain, but stay dedicated to what you do. Yeah. Shit, I know we all up against the wall, just in different rooms. I know, so I'm trying to win. I gotta bring it in. I'm not built to lose. Say so long. Goodbye to the downs. I got my head in the clouds. I know a couple of niggas who got it taken away. It's taking a minute. Look what we made it today. Sit back and I grin at the shit we able to say. It's back to the feeling of seeing nothing appealing and one more than what's given. The niggas making the way. Don't know how many quarters we gonna be able to play. It's hard, but we ballin' for those who ain't in the game. I know the product can sell itself in a minute, but I don't do all the gimmicks with all the niggas you like. I don't do nothing if we ain't making a killing. I know some niggas who needed a good thing in their life. Wanted to show him a loser could be a winner. If he was out to go get it with good intentions, he might. You'll be sore in the morning, but you was making it right. We ain't have a lot of choices. I had to win and bring it in. We not built to lose. Had to take the pain, but stay dedicated to what you do. Shit, I know we all up against the wall, just in different rooms. So I'm trying to win, I gotta bring it in. I'm not built to lose. Shit, I had to win, bring it in. We not built to lose. Had to take the pain, but stay dedicated to what you do. Shit, I know we all up against the wall, just in different rooms. So I'm trying to win, I gotta bring it in. I'm not built to lose.
That I fuck with that, man. Hey, and Jay Fresh go crazy.
Yeah.
I like. What I can say about you is, you make simple shit look amazing.
Appreciate it, bro.
I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
You feel me? How do you feel about the list in the city? MULTIMEDIA dropped a list. Everybody get into uproar. You feel what I'm saying? How you feel about the list?
Them lists, for one, they do two things. For me, one of the things it do is remind me that I'm too nice.
Right.
It remind me that I'm too nice, and it also, I think both things I was gonna say is more are kind of like on the same thing. It's just like, niggas can't rap with me. You know what I'm saying? Not even like rap. I just don't think niggas can create on the level that I can. So the list don't mean nothing to me. When I see them, in my personal opinion, it damages the credibility of the people who create them. To be honest, like, I think that a lot of times that shit be, and shout out MULTIMEDIA because you know they big staple, big
here.
part of the culture.
Definitely,
and they doing something that we've always needed here. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And they doing what they supposed to do. Don't get me wrong. Shout out Brenton. You know what I'm saying? He's a solid dude. But as far as the opinions of people and the input, personally, I feel like I see why he do it.
Right.
I see why his list changes too from time to time. You know what I'm saying? As far as being a blogger and having to, you know what I'm saying, kind of stir shit up a little bit.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, I'm like, let's be real, guys. Like, come on, my niggas. Like, real shit. Like, yeah, I respect a lot of these niggas on these lists and shit like that, but come on, bro. Like,
you know who the fuck you talking to.
Let's be serious. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's why I'm like, man, they don't really do much for me, but
stir the pot.
Make me poke my chest out a little bit. Like, come on, man, do I gotta really act like that? You feel me?
So leading to that, what does 2023 hold for you?
2023 is gonna be a big year because I ain't you know, one thing I've never really been super, not necessarily saying super big on, but I haven't done a lot of major features and like I said, showcasing in a lot of other places, and I'm doing a lot of that. Like I got songs with niggas that people don't expect yet, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm excited to drop and just and elevate, you know what I'm saying? It's hard because one of the biggest things that I said I was gonna quit doing is talking about shit before it happened. So like, you know,
it's hard to talk about.
To answer these questions and shit, but it's like, man,
just know you got something coming.
Yeah, I gotta turn shit up for real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm at that point where it's like I need everything. I need everything.
I need
right
everything.
now. I need
for
everything.
Sure.
I can't wait no longer. I can't sit back and, you know, watch my name go lower on these lists. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I said, that type of shit don't really matter, but at the same time, shit, like,
it make you wanna
it make me want to turn
window.
my shit up.
Yeah,
for real. Like, all right, man, y'all niggas, I really think I must think I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I got a lot to prove. I got a lot to prove. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really, you know, no disrespect to the town, but nothing to the city. I ain't got nothing to prove to the city because I feel like I've conquered the city
already.
But I gotta get the fuck out of here and make some noise somewhere else because that shit is very humbling to go to make a post and say I'm out in LA or I'm out in Dallas, and you get thousands of likes from your hometown, but then you go out to the club out there in Dallas and niggas is like, who the fuck is this? Who is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? And it is like, it just reminds you like, nigga, you got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shit, it's hold on. Yeah, it's a lot of work to be done. You know what I'm saying? A lot of work. Sure. You know what I'm saying? We putting that work in though.
All 2023, well, bro.
2023.
I appreciate you. Yeah. It's been a long time coming.
Yes,
I can't wait to run this back in the summer.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And see the progress. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? The halfway point for sure. Yeah. I appreciate you again. I want to give major shout out to our sponsors, SHROOMY Apparel.
Yes, sir.
Bright Future. Get to BrightEverything YouTube right now for the full episodes. Yep. We dropping soon. Man, appreciate you,
Appreciate y'all having me, bro. Real.
Yeah, always.